그리고 12월 16일, 12월 22일 날 판사님 제퍼슨 앞에서 또 법원에 오셔야 합니다.
For the record, this court has based its bond decision on the information contained within the four corners of the investigator's report, disregarding information not provided to defense counsel prior to today's hearing.
그리고 이 결과 내용은 Four Corners Investigation에 있는 그 보고서에 의해서 만들어진 대법원의 결정입니다.
Thank you very much. That concludes this hearing.
Your Honor, I just have
그래서
one.
이것이 답니다.
Yes, Attorney Palepu.
If I could just get contact information for defense counsel so I can provide the additional discovery for the bond hearing on the 9th.
Would you like to do that in the breakout room, Mr. Burr?
Yeah, I could give our offices information in the breakout room. Provide that information.
Thank you, Madam Interpreter. Thank you for your service. I'm going to go ahead and remove the camera. Thank you very much.
Your Honor, just can we make
thank
sure
you,
as
Your
far as
Honor.
my medical and that she gets something warm. So because she just had that stroke.
DDC?
Yes, ma'am.
Please mark Ms. Dow's file medical. She's recently had a stroke. It sounds like the cold could create a danger for her. Please make sure that she is provided with, blankets or whatever warmth she needs while in the facility.
미스터가 지금 스트로크를 있어가지고 좀 춥지 않게 그렇게 해주세요.
Thank you. We'll be back with you after the mail side.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right. You guys want to exchange? You need information? Thank you, Madam Interpreter.
Yep.
Amen.
I'm about to put my email in the chat for you, Sister Conklin.
Thank you. I'll put mine in there as well.
Yep, this is for our office.
Mine will go directly to me.
Gotcha.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you very much. Hello, DDC.
Good morning. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. How are you?
I'll be back in 2 minutes, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bird.
I'll be back in 2. If you could just give me 1 second, please.
Sure thing.
Thank you, Jan.
Okay, we ready?
I'm ready.
All right, DDC, looks like we're ready.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Calling case number 240-593-4801, People versus Juwan Williams, counsel.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72. I'm sorry, this is a felony case. The city is not appearing.
Thank you.
Yes, Jan. Brandon Bird on behalf of Juwan Williams. My client waives his right to the formal reading, was advised his constitutional rights, and stand mute.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived. Enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. This is charged as a retail fraud in the first degree. Bond has been set according to the capias order at $10,000 personal, so that's where this court will set it. Bond is set at $10,000 personal.
Yes,
All
updated
other
information.
conditions. Oh, okay, go ahead, please.
Sorry about that, Jan. Is a personal bond per Judge Williams, and my law partner, Attorney Reagan, also sent the motion over.
Okay. All right. Well, it was already set as a personal bond with respect to
Oh,
capias.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for cutting you off, Jan.
Okay.
I'm reading from my notes. I
Thank
apologize.
you. That's all right. All right, bond is set at $10,000 personal. You're still not to go back to the Home Depot on Myers. Next court date, December 16th for probable cause conference, December 20th for preliminary examination. Both are scheduled in front of Judge Taylor. Thank you.
Sorry about that, Jan.
Okay. What's your name?
David Eugene Childress.
All right, thank you. Calling case number 220-584-5901, people of the state of Michigan versus David Eugene Childress, counsel.
Sorry, Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72748.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Bird on behalf of David Childress. My client waives his right to the formal reading, was advised his constitutional rights, and will stand mute.
Thank you, counsel. Court notes formal reading has been waived. Enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. This is charged as an FA, an aggravated DV, alleged to have occurred about 3 years ago, December of 2021. I'm not seeing any prior felonies used to enhance. Positions as to bond, please.
Your Honor, the people are going to ask for a bond of 5,000, 10% cash or surety. It does date back 3 years, but we do have some concerns for safety in that allegedly Mr. Childress is supposed to have hit someone in the face hard enough with a liquor bottle to make it break, requiring some medical treatment at the hospital. There are priors, but the priors are controlled substance convictions, and then a retail fraud third in 2000. I didn't see any assault of priors, Your Honor, but we do have that concern for safety. The time that's passed is reflected in what I'm asking for.
Thank you. Do you have any indication that the parties have been in contact in the last 3 years? Are there any allegations of an assaultive nature between these parties in the last 3 years?
Your Honor, when I looked at the file notes, I did not see any notes indicating that there had been contact.
All right, thank you. Mr. Bird?
43-year-old lifelong resident, Your Honor, indicates to us that he has 3 children, lives with his mother. Indicates to us that he's not on probation or parole, no pending cases, does HVAC and plumbing. He's been doing that for the last 4 years now, Your Honor. Respectfully, this did happen. Well, I shouldn't say it happened. This was alleged to have happened roughly around 3 years ago now, Your Honor. My client indicates to us that he doesn't know this individual, not by the name of the complaining witness. And he's looking forward to his day in court in this matter. He hasn't had, we haven't been presented with any other incidents for this complaining witness. We haven't been presented, we haven't been presented with my client having any convictions after this incident. So respectfully, Your Honor, he has shown that he could be in the community and not be a threat to the community. And he's not trying to run from this matter. So I don't believe him to be a flight risk. Respectfully, we're going to ask this court for a personal bond.
All right, thank you. Given the passage of time, it's been about 3 years. I'm not hearing any other allegations of contact between these parties. I don't find that a cash bond is necessary to protect the complainant, although the allegations are disturbing. Mr. Childress is still considered innocent of those charges. He states he doesn't even know the complainant. Bond is set at $25,000 personal. There cannot be any contact or attempted contact with the complainant in this case, which should not be difficult if you don't know who that is. No verbal contact, no written contact. No contact through third parties or social media. Any attempted contact would be considered a violation of the conditions of your bond. Your next court date is going to be December 16th for probable cause conference, December 20th for preliminary examination, both in front of Judge Sabri. Thank you. What's your name? Thank you. All right. Calling case number 240-609-3001. People of the state of Michigan versus Tadarius Tarek Demon Hill. Counsel.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72748.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Bird on behalf of Tadarius Hill. My client waives his right to formal reading, was advised his constitutional rights, and will stand mute.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived in interest of not guilty plea on your client's behalf. Charge here is CCW. No priors that I see. Counsel, is the request for personal bond here?
Your Honor, there's no objection to a 5,000 personal on Mr. Hill. There's no police contacts on his lien at all. And this is not assaultive and no flight. So no objection to 5,000 personal.
No
Thank you.
objection,
Without
Your Honor.
objection. Thank you. Without objection, bond is set at $5,000 personal. Mr. Hill, you're not to purchase or possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons during the course of your bond. Your next court date is a probable cause conference, December 16th, in front of Judge Robbins. Preliminary examination is set for December 20th in front of Judge Taylor. Thank you. I can't hear you. What's your name? Thank you. Calling case number 240-609-3101. People of the State of Michigan versus Alhamayu Diablo Hall. Counsel.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72748.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Bird on behalf of Alamayu Hall. My client waives his right to the formal reading. Was violates his constitutional rights and will stand mute.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. Do the people object to personal bond in this case?
Your Honor, the people aren't objecting to a 75,000 personal bond, but we are asking for tether house arrest given the amount of drugs that there was a firearm located near the defendant's phone, and that he is alleged, at least based on a matching of description, to have offered burner guns. So we do have some concerns about safety. While this address does seem to be Mr. Hall's residence, the anonymous tip indicated that there was large amounts of product being moved into the home. So we're asking for tether house arrest to make sure that something like that does not happen. But we're not objecting to the person. We would note that there was
Are there any? Oh, go ahead. Thank you. Yep.
I was just going to say there was a 2016 HIDA attempt delivery manufacturer less than 50 grams. He did successfully complete that HIDA, but it was a drug delivery manufacturer case.
All right. Thank you.
27-year-old lifelong resident, Your Honor. Significant community ties, Your Honor. Indicates to us that he's not on probation or parole. Doesn't have any pending cases. Him completing HIDA just shows that he can listen to court orders, Your Honor, and for successful completion. And he can listen to court orders on bond also, Your Honor. We don't have any capious history in front of us. These are non-assaultive allegations, and respectfully, we're gonna ask this court for a personal bond. Don't believe my client to be a flight risk or a threat to the community, Your Honor.
Thank you. The successful completion of HIDA would indicate that he's not a flight risk. In terms of dangerousness to the community, there's nothing assaultive in the record. And in terms of a tether with house arrest, I mean, it's alleged that, the allegation here is selling drugs out of a house. So I don't know that the tether does anything to curb any perceived dangerousness to the community. Bond is set at $75,000 personal. Sir, you are not to purchase or possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons, and you are not to purchase or possess any illegal substances, including prescription drugs that are not prescribed to you. December 16th for probable cause conference, December 20th for preliminary examination, both in front of Judge Taylor. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hi, what's your name?
Sean Cooper.
All right, Mr. Cooper, calling case number 240-609-3401, people of the state of Michigan versus Sean Cooper, counsel.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72748.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Bird on behalf of Sean Cooper. My client waives his right to formal reading. Was advised his constitutional rights and stand mute.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. Charge here is CCW. No felonies used to enhance that I can see. Did the people object to a personal bond here?
Your Honor, no objection, 5,000 personal, no priors. There was no flight. This is not assaultive. No objection, 5,000 personal.
Thank you.
No objection, Your Honor.
Thank you. Sir, you are not to purchase or possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons during the course of your bond, which is set at $5,000 personal. Your next court date is going to be in front of Judge Robbins for a probable cause conference on December 16th. After that, preliminary examination is set for December 20th in front of Judge Taylor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, what's your name, please?
Sorry, Demetrius, Office of Monitoring.
Thank you. One moment, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Checked for periods. Okay. All right. Calling case number 240-609-3501. People of the state of Michigan versus, is it Troy Hawkins Moncrief?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. Counsel.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72748.
Yes, Your Honor, Brandon Bird on behalf of Hawkins Moncrief. My client waived his right to formal reading, was advised his constitutional rights, and will stand mute.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived. Interest in not guilty plea on your client's behalf. Ms. Douglas, position as to bond, please.
Your Honor, for bond, the people are going to ask for a bond of $15,000 cash or surety with tether house arrest. The reason we're asking for that was we have a concern for safety of the public. Your Honor, Mr. Hawkins Moncrief's priors include a 2015 B&E entry without breaking with intent, 2011 B&E, same count, Your Honor, and then but attempt. And then, Your Honor, he just got off of probation October 23rd of 2024 for attempt FA. He was discharged without improvement. In that case, he was the complaining witness was a police officer, the weapon being a knife. Here we have an allegation that Mr. Hawkins Moncrief had a weapon that he used to cut a store employee. When that store employee was trying to get him to leave the store, when officers responded, he was in the doorway, and apparently, according to the report, the green light video showed that Mr. Hawkins Moncrief had left, but then later came back and tried to get reentry, but he was not able to. At that time, the store had been locked to him. So, Your Honor, we do have concerns for safety of the public, seeing how recently he just got off of probation for an assaultive case involving a knife, and here we have an allegation of another cutting weapon. So, Your Honor, we are asking for a bond of $15,000 cash or surety with tether house arrest and an order of no alcohol, as that alcohol may have been involved.
Thank you. Defense?
35-year-old lifelong resident, Your Honor, indicates to us that he has 5 children. Unfortunately, he's unemployed. Any amount of bond is going to be unaffordable for him at this time. He does suffer from some issues, Your Honor. Unfortunately, he's not on medication, but if we can mark his file medical, it'd be greatly appreciated. Respectfully, Your Honor, I do understand these are very assaultive allegations. He looks forward to his day in court. We're going to ask this court potentially for a personal bond. If the court's not inclined to a personal bond, then the reasonable or low 10% bond seems fit by the court, even though that would be unaffordable for my client, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Hawkins Moncrief is alleged to have not only refused to leave a store, but have thrown things at the store operator, at the cashier, as well as swinging a box cutter at that individual, resulting in a cut. That combined with the information from the people that there was a previous unsuccessful probation for felonious assault does cause this court to believe there is a dangerousness to the community here. For those reasons, the court is setting bond at $15,000 cash surety. If he's able to make the bond, GPS with house arrest until a judge says otherwise. So you're not to purchase or possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons during the course of your bond. You're not to have any contact or attempted contact with the complainant in this case. And you are not to return to the address where this is alleged to have occurred if you're able to make your bond. Your next court date is going to be a bond review hearing. That will be Monday, December the 9th in front of Judge McConico. After that, December 16th for probable cause conference, December 20th for preliminary examination. Those two in front of Judge Giles. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And excuse me, Your Honor, we can respectfully ask DDC to bring the.
DDC, please mark
female
that
to the
file.
screen.
One moment. DDC, please mark that file medical. Please mark that file medical. All right. Sorry, Mr. Bird. Go ahead.
No problem. If we could respectfully just request to get the 2 females on the camera so we can interview them, it'd be appreciated.
All right. Thank you. DDC, if you could hear that, is anybody that can get the women on camera on the female side, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. What's your name, please?
William James Garrison Jr.
All right, thank you. Calling case number 240-609-3601, people of the state of Michigan versus Antonio Garrison. Counsel.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72748.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Bird on behalf of Antonio Garrison. My client waives his right to the formal reading, was advised his constitutional rights will stand mute.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived. Interest and not guilty plea on Mr. Garrison's behalf. Charge here is CCW, no prior felonies that this court can see. Do the people have an objection to a personal bond here?
No objection to 5,000 personal, only traffic priors. This is not an assault of no flight. No objection to 5,000 personal.
Thank you. Presuming no objection, Mr. Byrd.
No
Thank
objection,
you.
Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Garrison, you're not to purchase or possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons during the course of your bond. Your next court date is going to be December 16th for probable cause conference in front of Judge Robbins. After that, December 20th is set for your preliminary examination in front of Judge Taylor. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Was that a $5,000 personal bond?
5,000 personal, no weapons. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
What's your name, please?
Your Honor, my name is Deontay Watkins.
Calling case number 240-609-3801, people of the state of Michigan versus Deontay Watkins. Counsel.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72748.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Bird on behalf of Deontay Watkins. My client waives his right to the formal reading, was advised his constitutional rights will stand mute.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. Positions as to bond here?
Your Honor, Mr. Watkins, the people would be asking for a 50,000 personal bond, but tether house arrest. Your Honor, Mr. Watkins does have an extensive criminal history that's reflected at least in part in the HAB notice, including a UDAA and a fleeing and eluding. Your Honor, we would note that Mr. Watkins is currently on parole. According to Otis, he is currently on parole for a number of his prior convictions. I did send to defense counsel, emailed register of actions for 2 other cases that Mr. Watkins has going on right now, for which he capious in 35th District Court. He had 2 cases. One is 24C 36737 AFY, date of offense September 16, 24, where it was organized retail crime and retail fraud first degree. There was a bond violation hearing scheduled for August 27th that he failed to appear for. He had just been arraigned September 18th. So just 9 days later, there was a bond violation hearing and he failed to appear for that. And there was a capious warrant issued. And then there's another case, 24C30603-FY, with the date of offense of August 7th of 24. There he pled down to controlled substance use. There was a bench warrant issued September 23rd of 24, failure to appear because that was the date he was supposed to be sentenced on that case. So he failed to appear for sentencing on that. So Your Honor, he's on parole. He has priors. He's failed to appear in 2 different cases, including his sentencing. And then we have this going on. So Your Honor, we do have concerns for flight. And that's why we're asking for tether house arrest. But this is non-assaultive. And so we're not asking for a dollar amount.
Thank you.
No objection to the personal bond, Your Honor. 36-year-old lifelong resident. He was forthcoming with us that he's on probation, but indicated to us that was for retail fraud and he was in compliance with that probation. Unfortunately, he's unemployed right now. Indicates to us that he's in school 4 times a week. He's in, well, I don't want to state his school because the simple fact we're on YouTube. But he is in college, Your Honor, trying to better himself in life. He does suffer from some physical or mental issues, not mental, Your Honor, but indicates to us that he's not on medication for it. But if we could still Marcus filed medical, it'd be appreciated. But respectfully, Your Honor, these are non-assaultive allegations. These are non-assaultive allegations. If he does have those warrants against him, those other counties do have the ability to put a hold on him and to come get him to take care of those matters. But as for the matter that we have in front of us today, Your Honor, we're asking for a personal bond on this matter.
All right, thank you. Due to the non-assaultive nature of the allegations, bond is set at $50,000 personal. However, given defendant's capious history, including capiasing at a bond violation hearing and sentencing, both of which he would have been aware of and previously arraigned on, the court does find him to be a flight risk. Therefore, GPS tether is required before leaving the jail. Because the tether is required solely as a means to control the likelihood that he will show up for court, I am not placing any restrictions on the tether. We simply need to know where to find him if we need to. Next court date, December 16th, probable cause conference, December 20th, preliminary examination, both in front of Judge Giles.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Summers, calling case number 240-609-3901, people of the state of Michigan versus Anthony Summers. Counsel.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72748.
Yes, Your Honor, Brandon Bird on behalf of Anthony Summers. My client waived his right to formal reading, which violates his constitutional rights, so stand mute.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived. Enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. Positions as to bond.
Your Honor, Mr. Summers, the people would ask for a bond of $5,000 cash or surety and no contact with the complaining witness or the location. We do have concerns about safety of the complaining witness, given that the allegation is Mr. Summers first warned that he would hit her in the head, allegedly, that he would hit her head in the head with a boot if she kept talking. And then when she kept talking, he allegedly then hit her in the head with the boot, and that hospital treatment was required. So, Your Honor, it would seem that this was not based on that allegation, not impulsive, but thought through and calculated. So we do have concerns for safety of this complaining witness. This is charged as a felony, so we're asking for $5,000 cash or surety, asking for no contact.
Thank you. Mr. Berg.
Yes, Your Honor. 54-year-old lifelong resident, Your Honor. Does have an alternate location to stay at, and is even willing to stay in a hotel to stay away from the complaining witness in this matter, Your Honor. Indicates to us that unfortunately he's unemployed. Any amount of bonds is going to be unaffordable for my client. And we're going to ask the court potentially for a personal bond in this matter. He can get his sister to get his things. As far as I see, he doesn't have the prior assault of criminal history, Your Honor. And it seems like he hasn't had any convictions for a long time now. It looks like over 14 years. More than that, 16 years. Over 16 years, Your Honor. But respectfully, that's what we're going to ask for. He understands that he has to stay away from the complaining witness and has no problem doing that.
What's his work situation?
Unfortunately, he's unemployed at this moment, Your Honor.
So where is he going to stay?
He could stay with a friend or he'll stay at a hotel. He has no problem staying at either one.
Given the lack of prior assaultive history, I'm not determining defendant to be an ongoing danger to the community. And given the number of priors, we have 3 priors, I'm not determining him to be a flight risk. I think I can address safety to this particular complainant through a no contact order. That's what I'm going to do. Bond is set at $50,000 personal, sir. That means you don't have to pay any money to get out of jail today. But if you violate the conditions of your bond order by not showing up for court or attempting any contact with the complainant in this case, you could find yourself back in there without the ability to get out. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. I do.
Set at $50,000 personal. There is to be no contact or attempted contact with the complainant. That includes through third parties, social media, no text messaging, etc. You are also not to return to the address on Arlene Street where this is alleged to have occurred. December 16th for probable cause conference, December 20th for preliminary examination. Both are in front of Judge Sabri. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Your Honor.
Hi, what's your name?
Kim Travis Jones.
You say Jones?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, hold on. I don't have, for Jones,
He's number 13.
I have Kamari Maynard, Lamont Watson, Raymond Rankins, Karan Elston or Keith Whitfield. I don't have it, Jones. What's the first name, sir?
Nakia.
There we go. Okay, I got it. Thank you. Okay, I got you in the wrong stack of files. Thank you. Okay. Calling case number 240-461-1201, people of the state of Michigan versus Nakia Travis Jones, counsel.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72748.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Bird on behalf of Nakia Jones, my client waives his right to the formal reading, which violates his constitutional rights and stand mute.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. Physicians as to bond, please.
Your Honor, Mr. Jones, the people are asking for a bond of $5,000 cash or surety with tether house arrest. Your Honor, given what's alleged, we would ask for a higher bond, but this is charged as a misdemeanor. But we do think that there's grave danger here, given that the report indicates the police were initially called by a neighbor who heard this complaining victim or complaining witness screaming when she got into the vehicle, when the defendant first got her into the vehicle. She did end up with a broken jaw, Your Honor, and a broken finger, which required hospital treatment. And so to hit somebody so hard that they have a broken jaw is pretty serious. It's allegations, but we do have those injuries, and the hospital treatment, and then we have the third party neighbor saying that they heard screaming. Your Honor, the complaining witness claims that Mr. Jones threatened to kill their two older children when he dropped her off. So we do have concerns there about safety. As far as priors go, they are older priors. His most recent is a 2015 delivery manufacturer less than 50 grams, second or subsequent offense. He has multiple prior controlled substance offenses, but that's the most recent. He does have a prior 2000 felonious assault and a 1992 great bodily harm and felony firearm. Those are the assault of convictions that he has, which are older. But given what's alleged here, the severity of the injuries, we have concerns for safety. So we're asking for $5,000 cash or surety. As for that amount, since it's discharged as a misdemeanor, but we are asking for tether house arrest and no contact for safety of this individual.
Thank you. Mr. Bird.
50-year-old lifelong resident, Your Honor. Does have an alternate location, which my client does have an alternate location, which he could stay, provided us with an alternate address, Your Honor. He would ask for a one-time police escort to get his belongings, or have a third party even go with the police to get his belongings. He understands that it's going to have to be no contact and doesn't have any problem with no contact, Your Honor. As far as his prior criminal convictions, that's roughly almost 30 years old now, Your Honor. And respectfully, he was forthcoming about having those convictions too. Indicates to us that he does home improvement. His hours vary, Your Honor. Unfortunately, he won't be able to afford any amount of bond. He does suffer from a serious physical issue, which he takes medication. indicates to us that he hasn't received that medication, and respectfully, if we can mark his file medical, it'd be greatly appreciated. My client has been able to not have any criminal convictions for a long time now. Yeah, he indicates to us that these accusations are false. He indicates to us that he doesn't know how he doesn't know how she got these injuries. But one thing he knows is that he's not the one to do it. I do understand it states that a neighbor heard screaming. Um, Now, if I could just read this part one more time. They were called by the neighbor that heard complainant screaming before the defendant drove away. It doesn't say that they heard the defendant anything about what she said. And sometimes people argue. That doesn't mean that he went to that doesn't mean he went to these measures that he went to these measures that complainant witness is alleging against him. So respectfully, Your Honor, we're gonna ask this court potentially for a personal bond in this matter. One thing that stood out to me, I don't want to complain of witness shame because I'm not about to say victim shaming because as of right now, my client's innocent unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So I don't like to say victim because right now we don't have a victim, we don't have a conviction. But respectfully, I did notice that it says that plaintiff witness states that she grabbed a bottle of liquor and started drinking because she was scared. Now, I don't know how much liquor might have been drinking, might have been drinking that matter. I'm not sure if it could have obscured her vision of what happened that day. My client knows for sure that he did not put his hands on Miss Alexander. And respectfully, Your Honor, that's why we're gonna ask for a personal bond. They've been together 18 years. We haven't been presented with any evidence that there's been any prior domestic violences against them towards Ms. Alexander within those 18 years, Your Honor. Um, he's not a flight risk, and I'm pretty sure he understands the severity of the situation in this case. And respectfully, we're gonna ask this court for a personal bond in this matter, no contact. If he can get a police escort, if he can't go over there with the police escort, we'll let that family go over there. And the family needs to go over there with the police, then that's how you'll work it out. Um, and adhere to any condition that the court gives. I understand there's injuries. Your Honor, but my client indicates to us that he's not the one that committed those injuries, Your Honor. And respectfully, we're asking for a personal bond in this matter.
Thank you. Mr. Jones was pulled over by officers while still in the vehicle with the complainant. We have a third-party witness who states that, well, that's what the investigator's report says, or in the vehicle. The investigator's report states, defendant pulled out of the driveway and went to a gas station where officers pulled him over. So the complainant stated the officers never checked to see if she was okay, that the defendant went inside the gas station and got some liquor. When he returned, he began to drive recklessly, so she grabbed a bottle and started drinking because she was scared, drove to Hollywood Casino against the traffic, almost hitting another vehicle, hit her to the left side of the head with an open hand, left side of the face, put her in a headlock. She injured her own finger trying to free herself from the headlock, and then attempted to escape by jumping in the rear of the truck, only to learn, and this is quite concerning, that the locks were shaved down and she was unable to maneuver them. At any rate, we have allegations. You'll have a chance to speak if you wish to do so, sir, after your attorney advises you. We have allegations that a third party heard yelling. Yes, people argue, but when one of those parties suffers a broken jaw in close proximity to the time of that argument, that's a concern. This is not one of those cases where somebody is drinking and perhaps just, I mean, she could have imagined that something happened, but then she's also going to have to forget how her jaw got broken and have completely made that up. This court finds that there is a dangerousness to the complainant here. I will also say that there are allegations that the defendant threatened to kill complainant's two older children before she was let out of the truck, causing the court concern about ongoing safety to the complainant. So all of those things are informing my bond decision, which I'm setting at $5,000 cash surety, GPS with house arrest if he makes the bond, and may not return to the location except for one-time police escort to retrieve belongings. Mr. Byrd, your client wishes to speak. Do you wish to advise him?
Please do not discuss about the facts of this case over this video. Everything's being recorded. We have a prosecutor that's standing here. We have a prosecutor that's standing here, and anything you say could be used against you. And if it can be used against you, they will use it against you. Even if you don't believe it could be used against you, they find a way to try and use it against you. So I advise you to exercise your right to remain silent.
All right. Next court date is going to be a bond review hearing on Monday. That's December the 9th in front of Mechanico. And then pretrial is set for December 18th in front of Judge Garrett. No contact or attempted contact with the complainant, including through third parties or social media, and no returning to the address on Nashville Street except for one-time police escort. Now, Mr. Jones, having been advised by your counsel, is there anything you wish to inform the court or ask the court?
What day you say the court date, next court date is?
December 9th. December 9th, Judge Mechanico will review your bond. He may lower it at that time. Okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. 5,000 cash surety, GPS, home confinement.
Thank you.
Do you need Ms. Hernandez in a breakout room with the female side, Mr. Byrd?
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, Your Honor, please.
Okay, they're saying yes for the interview. What's your name, sir?
Raymond, Samar Raymond.
Okay, thank you. Hold on just one moment. Oh, boy.
Mr. Reagan is calling in, Your Honor.
Okay,
During the breakout.
we're gonna need to bring the female camera in though, and looks like, are you guys still on it?
No,
We're
I
off,
hung
man.
up, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll get you guys into breakout room.
Thank you.
Mhm. Okay, let's put you in, I'll put you in room 1.
Okay.
Hopefully I don't lose you, Mr. Byrd. If you do, if I do, let's just get you so you can bounce back. I'll make you a co-host in case you get stuck.
Appreciate it.
Okay. All right, you guys should see an invitation to room 1.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, this is Mr. Rankins calling case number 240-609-4201, People of the State of Michigan versus Raymond Rankins Counsel.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72748.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Byrd on behalf of Raymond Rankins. My client waived his right to formal reading. He revised his constitutional rights, so stand mute.
Mr. Bond, please.
Your Honor, for the reasons stated, and as this is not an assault of no objection, 5,000 personal.
Thank you.
No objection, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Rankins, you're not to purchase or possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons during the course of your bond, which is set at $5,000 personal. Next court date, December 16th for probable cause conference in front of Judge Robbins, December 20th for preliminary examination in front of Judge Giles. Thank you. Oh, boy. Hi, what's your name, please?
Oh, Schlimmer.
Okay, Mr. Schlimmer. Calling case number 240-609-4101, People of the State of Michigan versus Noah Schlimmer. Counsel.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72748.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Bird on behalf of Noah Schlimmer. My client waived his right to formal read and was denied his constitutional right to stand mute.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived. Interest in not guilty plea on your client's behalf. Positions as to bond.
Your Honor, Mr. Schlimmer, the people are asking for a bond of 10,000 cash or surety, and an order of no alcohol. Your Honor, here we have the allegation of Mr. Schlimmer pointing a firearm at apparent strangers on the street, and asking, do you want to die? Your Honor, when officers do a traffic stop, Mr. Schlimmer allegedly tells the police where the gun is, Your Honor. And so these are allegations, but how would this complaining witness know that this particular individual had a firearm unless she saw it? So, Your Honor, we do have concerns here, given that the report indicates that the firearm was loaded with an extended magazine with 16 rounds with 1 round chambered, Your Honor. There was an open alcohol container from the report, sounds like. So we do have concerns for the safety of the public, as this does not seem to have been something like a road rage incident or people arguing. It just seems to be pointing a firearm at random people on the street. And given that the firearm is loaded, we do have that concern. So we are asking for 10,000 cash or surety and no alcohol. I did not see any priors, but the allegations have us concerned for public safety.
Thank you. Defense?
Come on, Your Honor. Now, I'm a little confused with the second, with on the second page of the report, Your Honor, where it says both victims, and the same as Harding who confirmed the victim is Harding. Oh, Mr. Harding. Okay. Sorry about that. But 18-year-old lifelong resident of Michigan, Your Honor, indicates to us that he lives with his father, that he doesn't have a prior criminal history, not on probation or parole, no pending cases. Indicates to us that it'd be difficult for him to pay monetary value. Most pays about $500 to $1,000. Not on probation or parole, no pending cases. Respectfully, Your Honor, I do understand that there's one vehicle that's involved in these allegations, so I'm not sure if there are any circumstances to this. I'm not even sure if he flashed a gun at this point, and not taking that to be true. But if we are taking the investigator's report to be true for argument purposes only, it's just I like to rephrase it about how Sister Prosecutor said he was running around pointing his gun at strangers in the street. We have a one car that's alleging that these allegations are, so it's not like he's just out in the open when people are passing, just waving his gun around, asking them if they want to die. And I'm not saying he did that at all, Your Honor, but I do understand it's a very serious allegation. And respectfully, we're going to potentially ask this court for a personal bond. Of course, not a client to a personal bond and a reasonable and low 10% bond seen fit by the court. I understand he's only 18, so prior criminal history might not mean much, but we do see a variety of people coming in here at young ages that already have a criminal record. So that's what we're asking for in this matter, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Your client in schools, you work?
He works, Your Honor. He works. Well,
But he lives with his dad?
yep, lives with his father.
All right. This is a hard one. There's no priors, so I'm not going to determine dangerousness on the basis of any priors. He's got connections to the community, so I'm not concerned about flight risk there. But the case is concerning. I mean, the allegations are concerning. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to impose a bond of $50,000 personal, but before leaving the jail, must be fitted with GPS tether with house arrest, full house arrest. Must reside with his father. May not purchase or possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons. No contact or attempted contact with the complainants by any means, including through social media or third parties. And finally, in addition to the GPS, house arrest tether, alcohol tether before leaving the jail. Next court dates. December 16th for probable cause conference, December 20th for preliminary examination. Those are both in front of Judge Taylor. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hi, what's your name, please?
Ron, D-A-L-7.
And you, sir, what's your name?
Keith Whitfield Jr.
Thank you. All right. Calling case number 240-609-4001, People versus Karan Elston, and case number 240-609-4002, People versus Keith Whitfield. Counsel.
Jennifer Douglas for the People, P72748.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Bird on behalf of Karan Elston and Keith Whitfield. My clients waived their right to the formal reading, were advised their constitutional rights, and will stand mute.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived. Enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf, on both clients' behalf. Both are charged with basically stealing mail in an apartment building, couple of packages, not seeing any priors for either of them. And it appears from the investigator's report that they are no longer associated with that building. The prior lessor having revoked the lease that they were staying there under. Positions as to bond.
Your Honor, on two gentlemen, I'm not going to object to a $15,000 personal bond. As long as there's a no contact order with that building, Your Honor, we believe that $15,000 personal is acceptable.
Thank you.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Neither of you may return to the building located on Kirby where this is alleged to have occurred. Bond is set at $15,000 personal. Next court date is going to be December 16th for probable cause conference, December 20th for preliminary examination. Those are both in front of Judge Jefferson. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Put it on Zoom.
Yes.
Come back on there.
Hi, what's your name, please?
My brother Watson.
All right, thank you, Mr. Watson. Calling case number 240-609-4301, People of the State of Michigan versus Lamont Ronald Watson, counsel.
Jennifer Douglas for the People, P72748.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Bird on behalf of Lamont Watson. My client waived his right to the formal reading and was advised his constitutional rights will stand mute.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. Position is to bond here, please.
Your Honor, no objection to 35,000 personal bond. We are asking for tether with a curfew. Mr. Watson does have prior drug convictions. Here we have the allegation that he threw a bag containing lottery folds of fentanyl onto the side of the road, Your Honor, which we do think that fentanyl does present a danger to the public, Your Honor. Anyone could have found that, including children, animals. Your Honor, we are asking for tether with a curfew, but not objecting to 35,000 personal. This is not assaultive. There's no prior convictions for assaultive behavior.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Bird.
7-year-old lifelong resident, Your Honor, 4 kids we help raise. No prior assault criminal convictions, Your Honor. I mean, this isn't an assaultive. This isn't an assaultive. This actually isn't an assaultive matter either. Respectfully, we're gonna ask this court for a personal bond in these matters, Your Honor. There's no reason to say them to be a flight risk. Just a personal
Right.
bond with no tether. I
Thank you.
don't really see the necessity of a tether in this matter.
All right, thank you. I don't see the necessity of a tether for flight risk or protection of the community. I quite frankly found this case pretty interesting in reviewing the PC, that police would be somewhere in a completely unmarked car and an individual suddenly just discards drugs out of their window. It'll be an interesting case to see how it goes in the least. But, you know, I'm not seeing a dangerousness to the community here or a flight risk. Bond is set at $35,000 personal. Sir, you are not to purchase or possess any illegal substances during the course of your bond. That includes prescription drugs if you don't have a prescription for it. All right, next court date's going to be December 16th for probable cause conference, December 20th for preliminary examination, both in front of Judge Jefferson. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hi, what's your name, please? All right, thank you. Calling case number 240-00058, people of the state of Michigan versus Kamari Maynard. Counsel.
Your Honor, since this is a PPO violation, we won't be appearing.
Thank you.
We won't be appearing on the PPO violation either, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Maynard, you are alleged to have violated a personal protection order, which you had been already served. As a result, you are remanded at this time. No bond will be granted. Your next court date will be Monday at 9 a.m. in front of Judge Glendenning. December 9th, 9 a.m., Judge Glendenning. Thank you. See you on the female side. Thank you.
Your Honor, what about did Raymond Joyner make the list?
Joyner got pulled for some reason. Why was Joyner pulled? Because what? Oh, only DV cases go over the weekend, so his is not going to go.
So an FA could potentially get out, but a retail fraud can't.
Oh, I know, but it's, you know, it frustrates me too, but it's pursuant to the contract, and so I can't hear cases that I don't have the authority to hear under the purview of the contract.
Gotcha, I understand, Your Honor.
All right. Ma'am, what's your name?
Señora, ¿cuál es su nombre?
Jenny María Rivero Galindo.
Jenny Maria Rivero Galindo.
Thank you. Ms. Hernandez, please state your name and qualifications for the record.
Yes, Your Honor, my name is Emma Hernandez, Spanish English interpreter.
Thank you. And are you certified or qualified to translate in the courts?
Now, and I'm just waiting for the result of the test to be qualified or certified again. It depends if I pass or not. Before the test, I was qualified.
You were determined qualified within, was that last year?
Until September the 30th, because the test was in November. So we have to wait until the end of December or January to know if I stay qualified or if I go up to certified. But
Very
I'm
good. And
doing
Ms.
this for
Hernandez,
a
I
long time. And
all right. I am aware and I am personally familiar with the integrity of your work. Thank you. Please raise
Thank
your
you,
right
Your Honor.
hand and swear or affirm that you will, as accurately as possible and to the best of your ability, translate English to Spanish and Spanish to English.
I do, Your Honor.
Thank you. Calling case number 240-609-3701, People of the State of Michigan versus Yini Rivero Galindo.
Estamos llamando el estado de Michigan, está llamando el caso del estado de Michigan contra la señora Jenny Rivero Galindo, número de caso 240-60-93-701.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Bird on behalf of Yini Rivero Galindo, my client. I'm sorry, Attorney Douglas.
Sí, su señoría. Mi nombre es Brandon Bird. Estoy representando a la señora Jenny Rivero Galindo. Discúlpeme, señora intérprete. Go ahead, Mr. Bird.
Jennifer Douglas for the people.
Jennifer Douglas representando al Estado.
Yes, and I apologize again, Attorney Douglas, but my client waives his right to the formal reading and stands mute.
Nuevamente me disculpo, mi cliente va a ceder la lectura formal de cargos y va a permanecer en silencio.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on Ms. Rivero Galindo's behalf.
Está bien, abogado, la corte acepta la renuncia de la lectura de cargos y va a introducir una declaración de no culpabilidad en su nombre.
Ms. Douglas.
Señora Douglas.
No objection to 35,000 personal. We are asking for no contact with the complaining witness, his address, or with 7,000 Michigan.
No tenemos ninguna objeción, pedimos una fianza de $35,000 de fianza personal, ningún contacto con el testigo acusador y ningún contacto cerca de la dirección 7000 en la Michigan.
No objection, Your Honor.
No tengo ninguna objeción, su señoría.
Bond is set at $35,000 personal.
La fianza ha sido asignada a $35,000 de fianza personal.
You may not have or attempt any contact with the complainant. That includes through third parties and social media.
Usted no puede tener ningún tipo de contacto con el testigo acusador de ningún tipo, ni a través de las redes sociales, ni a través de terceros.
You may not go to 7000 Michigan Avenue in Detroit.
Usted no puede estar cerca o ir a la dirección en el número 7000 de la avenida Michigan de la ciudad de Detroit.
You may also not go to 2585 Sharon Street in Detroit, except for a one-time police escort to retrieve any belongings you need.
Your Honor, can you repeat that address, please? I'm sorry. 225?
2585 Sharon Street.
Sharon. Thank you, Your Honor. Señora,
Permission to
tampoco
speak.
puede ir a la calle, al número 22585 de la calle Sharon Street en Detroit, a menos que solamente puede ir una vez con escolta policial a tomar sus pertenencias.
Yes, Mr. Bird.
Sorry to interrupt
Sí,
you,
señor
Your
Bird.
Honor, but
Discúlpeme que le interrumpa, su señoría.
plaintiff witness left that house on Sharon Street 4 months ago.
Su señoría, la parte acusadora, el testigo acusador ya no vive en esa dirección hace 4 meses.
She lives with her brother, father, and kids in that location.
Ella vive en ese número, en esa dirección, con sus papás y con su hermano y con sus niños y su gente en esa dirección.
Ms. Douglas, any response to that?
Señora Douglas, ¿algo que responder a eso?
No.
Your Honor, I was going by the investigator's report.
Su señoría, yo me sigo por el reporte de investigación.
But now I'm checking other places for address.
Y ahora estoy chequeando otros lugares para verificar.
All right, well, I will remove the requirement that she not return to the location on Sharon Street.
Está bien, entonces yo voy a quitar la solicitud de que ella no pueda ir a la dirección en la calle Sherry.
However, the no contact order with the complainant remains in place such that if he does still live there, she may not return there.
Pero sí, la orden de no tener contacto con el testigo acusador permanece al lugar. Por lo tanto, si esta persona sigue viviendo ahí, ella no puede volver a la 222585 Cherry.
Next court dates, December 16th for probable cause conference, December 20th for preliminary examination, both of those in front of Judge Jefferson.
By soon, Your Honor.
December 16th? Yes.
Is December 16th for probable cause?
Yes, and December 20th for preliminary examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Señora, sus nuevos números, sus nuevos días para comparecer ante la corte van a ser el día 16 de diciembre para la audiencia de causa probable y el día 20 de diciembre para su examen previo al juicio. Ambas frente al juez Jefferson por Zoom. Okay.
All right, thank you, Ms. Hernandez.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Bye-bye. Thank you. Nice to see you.
Have a good day. Good night, you too.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We got one more.
Oh, we do?
One more.
What am I missing?
Yep. I got a Wendy
I say
Hart.
personal, and I know it.
Oh, right. I forgot about her.
Yeah, a little bit.
What's your name, please?
Wendy Hart.
Right. Calling case number 240-606-1601, people of the state of Michigan versus Wendy Hart. Counsel.
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72748.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Bird, on behalf of Wendy Hart, my client waives her right to the formal reading with advice to constitutional rights. So stand mute.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. Positions as to bond, please.
Your Honor, no objection to 25,000 personal bond. There's no priors. Given the way the complaining witness described the incident in the investigator's report, the people aren't objecting to 25,000 personal. We would ask for no contact at this time. So.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Bond is set at $25,000 personal. Ma'am, you're not to have any contact or attempted contact with the complainant. That includes through third parties and social media. Next court date is December 16th for probable cause conference, December 20th for preliminary examination, both of those in front of Judge Giles. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, DDC.
All right,
Your Honor, I got one question.
Yes.
I got one question. This guy was on the list and they was asking, was he going? I know you about to get out of there, just want to make sure. His name is Raymond Joyner.
Yes, no, he can't go on the weekend. Whatever the case type is, can't be heard over the weekend. So I can't do that one.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.